My name is Brooke, and I just want to remind everybody that reparations is back payment for services rendered. If you weren't here and you did not render any services during slavery, you do not qualify for reparations. Nationality and citizenship are loud conversations today. While people are flying, boating, walking, riding into this country in the pursuit of U.S. citizenship, none of these groups share the centuries-long history we have on this land. None of them fought this government and won. None of them are owed a red cent by this nation, but the freedmen are. Freedmen, that's the title this government gave us. Foundational Black American, that's the name we chose for ourselves. We are Americans. How dare you fight for others to be called American, yet refuse to acknowledge who we are and call us by our name? We are foundational Black Americans. We were here before the U.S. was formed, before this was even a destination for immigration. We built this nation. This country wasn't a place that people longed to come to, not at first. Even Europeans didn't want to immigrate here willingly. Many were sent by force, prison or exile. That was the bargain. They were sent here because this land was not desirable, not until we turned it into something that now the world fights to enter. Call us by our name. We are the freedmen. We are the foundational Black Americans. No disrespect. No disrespect to continental Africa or Africans, but how many of them are dying to come to America and become what we already are? Aren't thousands, no, millions of them fighting for American citizenship right now? So again, call us by our name. The refusal to recognize us by the name we chose is giving white racist Cassius Clay Muhammad Ali energy from skinfolk who clearly aren't kinfolk. In today's climate...
Thank you, Brooke. We appreciate you. Marjorie has...
Together we rise, or not at all.
Tick faster, that'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master ice. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right. Welcome once again to the Independent Black Voice. I'm your host, beatzillapdx official. And we are here once again, ladies and gentlemen, here on a Saturday afternoon, live and direct and in full effect. Like a mammy judge from Texas. Oh, we got some things to discuss this afternoon. But as you're coming into this live, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Share this out on your social media if you will. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. And let everybody know that we are live right now. And if you want to become a member of this channel and support that way, you can do so. Hit that join button and join this channel and become a member. But like I said, hopefully everybody is doing well. This afternoon, we are live again. This is mid-March. We're almost to spring. We had a big live last week. We had over 7,000 in the live last week. We'll see how we do today, and hopefully the real true numbers are again reflected. This is one of the most shadow banned platforms in this new Black media sphere. Now, with that being said, we have to address what we're seeing. And what we're seeing right now is a bunch of angry, bitter projections coming from all of these other groups, trying to dictate to us who and what we are. They try to clarify or classify our position by using terms such as hate groups and things of that nature, which you can't be a group being a lineage. That doesn't make sense. And, watching people do the useless or pointless conversation of saying, oh, well, I'm a Black American, not a foundational Black American. I see a lot of dumb takes on that. One of the most interesting, and I'll use the word interesting, seem to reuse is foundational Black Americans somehow being different than Black American when the name itself possesses Black American, and then say somehow Black American first is different. Then when somebody says Black first on a global scale, it means all the people that are on code against supremacy and are for empowerment. That doesn't necessarily mean Black American first. Now, if we're dealing with the people who are on code by definition of action, you're clearly speaking of foundational Black American, because that is who fights white supremacy and has the history of doing so. So it's into semantics is an idiot's conversation, which I've never understood how people follow those. I'm assuming it's those people who they call pretendians. But there's so many people that jumped out the woodwork in the midst of delineation that I've kind of lost track of some of these little knockoff groups that have came and, benefited. Now, as far as the one particular group, that I'm speaking of, the group of idiots, the reason why I created the word cloutopia, because some people would rather secure idiocracy. Why, I don't know, but they said, well, hey, let's just make dumb circular arguments and argue amongst people that this group of people probably shouldn't have been listened to, and you should listen to us, although we really don't know anything and don't really have anything for you to sit on. But hey, I've watched people give their personal information away. I've watched people in the so-called mind state of tracing your ancestry and confirming your lineage, which should be able to be done within just a few generations of your own family. I have a baby book that does that. You're talking about people born in the mid-1800s. And you're talking about an 1870 census in 2026, and you cannot find your relatives who date back to that. Then you probably came here somewhere much later, and you definitely are not a descendant of the slaves here. That would be very clear. Like I said, I got a baby book. I know that I was really big and popular in the 70s. So for a lot of us, we have those lineages printed out or handwritten out. And so that also leads to say, within our family here, no, where you guys just hail from. Okay, say if all we know is we hail from a plantation in Mississippi, or Arkansas, or wherever. You can't tell us where we come from before that. So why would we ignore the one clear line that we have with our own family that we can clearly identify? That's how I'm here today. These people want you to sit up here and start talking against your own existence. And one of the things, while that's going on, these people who consistently tell us that we're divisive, that we're doing the work of the white supremacists. Let me show you what white supremacists are doing in the midst of real life happening, and not these imposter Pan-Africrats that call themselves somehow trying to be for Black people, but they're not. So let me show you this. You know who that is, don't you? That's Erica Kirk, widow of Charlie Kirk, also suspected child trafficker out of Romania. But that's a story for another day, because that predates her relationship and marriage with Charlie Kirk, of course, for those of you who are aware of her past and history and what she was part of. So, you know, for you guys who remember the missionaries who got ran out of Romania because they were suspected child traffickers, they went over there as supposed missionaries and whatnot. Yeah, that lady on the screen is one of them. They ran her out. Why? Because they thought she was part of a child trafficking deal. That's right. Renaissance woman, that is correct. So think about that when all of these people get high and mighty on themselves. So looking at Erica Kirk, what was Charlie Kirk most known for talking about? Not making things about race and identity politics is how we've gotten to this culture of woke culture and cancel culture. Well, let me see what they're pushing today.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
Oh, wow.
Strong men who are convicted.
Let's hear that one more time.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there. Strong men who are convicted.
Sound like you talking about Black men, Erica, and the men you're talking to don't possess that kind of courage because they don't come from that environment. And what you're trying to foster is a false equivalency to oppression, which they have not experienced that one bit. They are the face of patriarchy. And so what you're seeing right now, there should be a bunch of white women combating this message. We should see their Black counterpart allies to combat this message. See, we see these videos of so-called 92%. And they'll tell you that you didn't listen to the Black community. Okay, 92%. And this is where the Texas election for Jasmine Crockett really demonstrates the truth. 92% that ends up only being 20-something% when Exit stayed home is not 92% of the Black vote. That's 90% of that 20% that showed up to vote, 80% of Black voters voted for the couch. That is a hell of a swing. And they are doing everything within their power to get you off of that truth. In the meantime, though, you got people like the Erica Kirks that are most definitely trying to get y'all and get their people on board to understand, like, hey, we need to activate here. We don't need to make sure that all of these Black folks are feeling prideful about themselves and standing up for themselves. Oh, no, don't you feel any type of way about yourself, because we need you strong men. Because we see some head busters over across the way right there. And we've been trying to make all of y'all little women quite some time. You want to see a prime example of that? Come to Portland, Oregon. And you can see that, yes, this is a move of desperation. And so when you start talking about birth rates and like this, okay, they push abortion on our children. They push non-binary on their children. And it bled over to everything. And so that's why now they're trying to have a reset. Why is she saying strong? All of a sudden you desire strong men. I thought masculinity was toxic. See, again, this woman, this white woman right here, is making an appeal for patriarchy. Where are the Black feminists? You know, everybody can have something to say. You know, I think in the Black empowerment movement, it's steeped in anti-woman misogynoir. These people have chapters in a party of lawmakers who are currently in power. I don't know how we start taking our attention away from that. You know what's funny, though? All the Democrat shields can think of right now is how negative FBA is. It's all they could talk about. Day in, day out. Oh, man, the FBAs. Oh, I'm so tired of the FBAs. The FBAs and FBAs. Meanwhile, they're over there rah-rah. Just think about what I'm saying. We're watching so-called Black folks be mad at us for delineation. In the meantime, they're turning a blind eye to these Klan rallies over here at TP USA. And here you got this blonde woman, which for some reason Black feminists believe are their allies and have believed that 92% is starting to represent more of a detriment to the community as a whole than I believe people first really paid any attention to. And I understand why a lot of our women want to hold on to the idea of feminism. I get it. But it's fool's gold. In what world do you proclaim to want to be protected by Black men while seeking allyship with white women who will never cross their men? How does that work? Listen to what she's telling the sons of their community. She's not telling them that masculinity and strength are bad, toxic traits. No. She instead are telling young, strong men, we need you. What do they say in our community? And then we have these people say, Black women are the most unprotected and this and that. One thing that I need y'all sisters to do for me, stop looking outside of your community for your ally. It is not us that have went astray. Because, see, right or wrong, good or bad, this is who we are. You have played away games in your mind if you thought that you could align yourself with this group. The descendants of people who owned your ancestors. And for some reason, because you both have vaginas, tells you that this woman is supposed to ally with you. That makes logical sense. I would love to hear how. That would be a great explanation. Because, see, here are people who are designing the future enemy of your children. And they're not looking to make them weak. They're not looking at the idea of strength being recognized as a bad thing. And most importantly, you know what she's not telling these young men? That they ain't shit. Never wonder about what happens to your community when your so-called nurturers are your community destroyers. Too much attention on gender divide, too much attention on how do we interrupt delineation. This is going unchecked. And for all of the people who are taking all of this money from the Democrats and whatever little hat organization is going to come around pretty soon and say, we're anti-Semites for not supporting it with whatever move they're doing against Iran. By the way, another friend of TPUSA, the same people who are invested in young Black America. So how is the same people that's concerned? We're the biggest threat, but at the same time, this is who they are backing. Any Democrat taking money from these people, Black ones coming in your face trying to tell you anything, if you still listen to them folks, well, then, baby, you are a fool. But hey, you know, I mean, maybe they really got some good ideas. Yeah, time for away games is over. I hope y'all understand that. We have to really, really look at us. You know what I mean? Black Star TV 2.0 in the building. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you in the building. And salute to everybody else in the building. Let me see. Let me put my glasses on real quick. Let me see who I got in the house. Okay, who we got here? Of course, we got our good sister, Judy Israel, in the building. Salute to you, my good sister. Thank you for being here. As always, good to see you in the building. Shout out to you and the family out there. Hopefully everybody is well. And thank you for always holding down the radar and being a member. Renaissance Woman 100. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And Black First. Antithesis, Black First, Augusta, Georgia. Salute to you. Thank you for being here as well and for your support. And we got Devin Nicole in the building. Happy Saturday. I'm late. That is perfectly all right. Good to see you in the building. Thank you for being here. And we have, thank God, it's over in the building. Republican, Democrats, FBA, NACP, KKK, all equal government. How would FBA equal government? Unless you meant to say FBI. Isaiah 9. I see all the scriptures. What does Daniel 12:1 mean? Psalms. Go back and pull up Daniel 1. What does that say? 12:1. You can feel free to post that too. Let me continue. Church of Black Power in the building. What's going on, my good brother? Good to see you as always. Salute to you. Thanks for being here, being a member, and being a voice in these streets. Y'all make sure y'all go check our good brother out tomorrow for your Sunday service. That is the Church of Black Power. Salute to you. And salute to our good brother, Cruelty. What's going on, Black First, brother? Yes, sir. Salute to you as always. And let's see. We have M. Hampton in the building. Good evening. M. Hampton reminds me of Michael Hampton. Kid, Funkadelic. So salute to you. Thank you for being here. And let's see. We have Priscilla Tether in the building. What's going on? Jersey City in the building. Black First. Thank you for being here. And Renaissance Woman said, I'll never forgive feminism for having me to. Oh, Lord. Oh, let me fix my mic. Mid-speech. Check. Okay. I'll never forgive feminism for having me to work and do masculine things. Yeah, I said it. Salute to you. Yes, indeed, man. And again, salute to our good brother, Black Star TV. Y'all can go subscribe to his channel as well. That's a good brother I know very well. And salute to y'all. You know, that's crazy. Yeah, man, connect with the Bible verses, man. You know, you was popping them in there. I need you to drop that Daniel 12:1. If we're going to do all of this, what this means, come on, we're a prophetic people now. So you can obviously decipher what you're looking at there, right? You know, there's a time when a group of people are going to be standing up. And we are doing that. So see, here's another thing why people are not really, I can understand. There's people that are going to be in tune with what's going on, and there's going to be people that aren't. And right now, you have your enemy very well in tune with what's happening while you are still moving around confused. And I know that's not my normal audience, but for those of you who are, because we have a lot of new watchers that are tuning in. And so, as you guys are coming in, please hit that like button because, again, I want to make sure I am keeping on top of my numbers because I've let this go for so long. But, you know, I need y'all to understand I'm a real shadow man. I'm not lying when I tell you that. So when you see numbers, you should something should tell you like, hey, his views don't make sense to his subscriber count. Saying it's one of those things, but you know, it is what it is. So a few areas I want to hit today. Oh, hold on. I'll put that here. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Must be here. Okay. I hate when things be jumping around on me. Okay, there we go. First thing I want to take a look at, because I believe now you're seeing it so much. Yeah, they shadow ban us all the time. I'm going to play a little bit of that Joy Reid and Godfrey piece, because there are some things that they're saying there. But before I get there, I want to address the whole FBA PSYOP thing, just like what was just said in this particular comment in this live. FBA equals the government. How? And see, this is an argument that I get so sick of hearing, because at the end of the day, hear me good when I tell you, I don't give a shit if you don't like Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is not a leader of anybody. Tariq Nasheed is a man that came up and coined the term that a lot of us can say, yes, we resonate with that. Last time I checked, this country has something, and a matter of fact, on this great world of YouTube, there is something called a influencer. And when influencers are influencing, other people gravitate towards it and says, I resonate with that message. But guess what? Their stance and their movement just means that, hey, I now have something that I can label what they labeled me as, and I'm going to claim my own tribal title in this land of our captivity. Guess what? None of these other groups can say that they've done that. They haven't even done that much. And somehow now, by that action, we're trying to divide and be separated. Be separate from what? We have been in America for half a millennium. What on earth? And that's just scratching the surface. Truth be told, longer than that. But as far as you can find in record, you're digging in about 500 years. Man, but you guys don't know where you come from. Any African to tell you that they know the history of their people back to 500 years is full of crap. Their country is younger than mother, but somehow they're going to tell us that we don't know our culture and we don't know our history. We know 500 years back to our family. We could go back a couple hundred years. Y'all can't. Your damn birthday's January 1st. I mean, what are we saying? We have birthdays for people who were born into slavery. And you were born in a free country and don't know when the hell your birthday is. Talking shit. I mean, just put that in perspective. Our family members were born in slavery. Here comes this asshole telling us, you don't know where you came from. When's your birthday, genius? January 1st. Your punk ass up. Anyway, let's get on to this woman and start debunking this madness. Whoo, because we're all CIA agents, you know. We all work for the government and do this work for the supremacists. Now, I just played the supremacist to you. Guess what she didn't mention? Us. Because all that they're concerned with doing is making sure they don't have to compete with who? Us. So to tell yourself that we somehow trying to align with them and we're sounding like them when we're the strongest of the bunch? No, they're telling them, their children, they need to grow up so they can combat us. What are you talking about? Where the hell did you see any kind of connection? I just played the white supremacists. But let's hear them lie on Black America now.
Right.
Let's go.
See, that's why I played Erica
See,
Kirk
that's
first.
why I played Erica
so
Kirk
no
first.
one can say we're
So
the
no
white
one can say we're the white
supremacists.
supremacists. No.
So let's get light on
So
here.
let's get light on here. Here we go.
How are groups like ADOS and FBA related to white supremacy? Let's talk about it. First,
Please.
let's start with the Tanton Network. The Tanton Network was started or founded by John Tanton, a white supremacist and eugenicist who felt that the United States was getting too black and too brown. He decided that he wanted to create organizations that appeared progressive, but they actually had an ulterior motive: to limit black and brown immigration and keep the United States whitey. John Tanton said, and I quote, "For
Okay. Okay, we should be back. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me go back a little bit.
but they actually had an ulterior motive: to limit black and brown immigration and keep the United States whitey."
Okay. At that point, what does the immigration part have to do with us? To limit black immigration. And that man that you just showed, I'm sure you're attributing him to the Project 2025. Ma'am, are you aware of the history of this country? The fact that Black Americans are the ones who fought for Black immigrants to get here. So when you get into this brownie, what you're talking about is a modernized fix. But look at what you're still focused on. You're focused on immigration. We're Americans, citizens, natural born for generations. We are here at the founding of this country, meaning foundational Black American. So how now would that be a psyop when we're not part of his intended target? See how that's a false relation right there. See, these people know that they're lying, and so they play word games with you folks. But we're going to get through this today.
John Tanton said, and I quote, "For European American society and culture to persist requires a European American majority, and a clear one at that." Another quote, "We decline to bequeath our children minority status in their own land." John Tanton quotes. So how exactly did John Tanton decide to attack the Black community? Some of these white supremacy front groups are as followed: Progressives for Immigration Reform, U.S. Tech Workers, Federation for Immigration, Centers for Immigration Studies, Numbers USA, Blacks for Equal Rights Coalition.
So far, I don't know any of these organizations that she's referring to. Do you all? Because none of those groups have anything to do with us. Like, I have never heard anybody being named as being affiliated with those groups. So while mentioning, see, Roland Martin does this type of weak thing too. So clearly this is coming out of a think tank. So what they do is they mention foundational Black Americans to start. And then they go into this diatribe of all of these other people and these different groups that we ain't got nothing to do with. Ain't got nothing to do with us. And we ain't never been, nobody's been affiliated with, but they bring these things up and say, see, that's how they're connected. No, you need to connect them to some people, folks. And this ain't it. This is not it, ma'am.
Blacks is crazy. Choose Black America. For the record, the majority of the African American community is not against immigration of Black and brown people. What is the result?
Whoa. That's incorrect. That is incorrect. Don't lie on Black America. Okay, hopefully I'm back. I don't know why my microphone, and it's just, of course, you already know it, just did start to happen now. Anyway, let's continue.
Of this kind of coonery. Weakened growth of the Black population.
Our own population, so having outsiders don't contribute to our numbers. That was the reason for the OMB. Now, are you seeing how they're steeping their argument in this conversation? When, remember, because we had the OMB, so there was a whole thing of being recognized as separate. Nobody had anything to say about the Asians also doing the exact same thing. And so the Asians, taking the cues from foundational Black Americans, said, we want to be recognized as being here, as more like foundational Asians. See, we want to be known as the people who were here prior to 2020 with the open immigration and all of that. They want to be known as different. No problem there, though. And so, yeah, are non-FBAs okay with us immigrating to their homelands? Judy Israel, I would think not. But, and then understand that she's going to lie on us and then also say it weakens the growth of the Black population. You know what weakens the growth of the Black population? Pushing abortion on the Black population. Having people like Joe Biden being worshipped by Black folks as he wrote up laws with anti-Black racist Strom Thurmond to destroy Black families. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you know, another thing is feminism. Feminism, which is solely targeted at destroying the Black family, because it definitely doesn't address attacking the white one. And so here we are again saying this group of Black men. This is because we have an undeniable coon problem. And these people believe that they are working in the interest of Black America. They really, truly, honestly believe that. Why? Because they believe that the Democrats are really God. And when they worship those people, everything they say to them lowly Negroes is gospel. And get to lying like this to themselves, to where this woman will make a video, lie on other Black Americans for an agenda of a foreign goddamn government.
Black immigrants come to the United States, the Black birth rate goes up because we do intermix, we do intermarry, and we have families together. Weakened understanding of global Black oppression
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get through the rest of this video, and then I'm gonna restart my computer. So hopefully the microphone will stay on longer than 2 minutes. So let's let her go.
And systemic racism. A weakened Black vote. Increased surveillance and criminalization. But how are groups like ADOS and FBA perpetuators of white supremacy? Co-founder of ADOS, Yvette Cornell, also sits on the board of Progressives for Immigration Reform, one of the white supremacist front groups that I detailed earlier. Unfortunately, targeting Black immigrants is not the way to get reparations. ADOS basically targets Black immigrants. They say that Black immigrants are taking African-American jobs. Black immigrants are causing a lot of crime in the African-American community, basically scapegoating Black immigrants so that they can turn the African-American population against Black immigration, which the majority of African-Americans don't even support. U.S. Tech Workers is an organization that is trying to get reformation with the H-1B visa. This is a visa that Black immigrants, one of many visas, apply for. It is a highly skilled visa. So you have people applying for the H-1B visa who come into the country who go into STEM, science, technology, mathematics. Not a bad thing, right? However, Trump signed an executive order to limit the program for H-1B visas. Antonio Moore, who was the co-founder of ADOS, shared the article on Twitter for all of us to see their work. All of this information has been studied by the blackinstitute.org and the Southern Poverty Law Centers. I'll be adding additional sources in the link below. How was FBA related to all of this?
We not with your lying ass. Wow. See, she did all of that just to get to the part to where she actually has to reveal that she's lying her ass off. Yeah, see, this is how FBA is attached. Here's Yvette Cornell. She's tied to this group. What the hell that got to do with FBA? Because you know that these are different groups. Nice little slick move. But no. Let's see. Okay. We should be there. Let me do this. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this real quick while I restart my computer. Okay, we are still here. Let me start. Now, you know, listening to the type of rhetoric that she just spilled, that's something we see all the time, and we get it often from these so-called Democrat-loving or Pan-Africrats. And they always do the same thing. Well, FBA is CIA. FBA is the government. And then she comes out and saying, oh, well, this is what Yvette Cornell and Antonio Moore are part of. And if you see how FBA is involved with this, well, tune in for the next one. You have FBA in the title of this video. So she's trying to make a story where there ain't one. And that's just grossly dishonest. But the question about why are you doing that should be even more evident, because it's always, oh yeah, well, these guys, they attack Black immigrants and because they don't like Black immigrants. And it's always some madness about what we're doing against somebody else, while they never acknowledge the fact that these people come here very disrespectful, number one. And when we say Tether, well, so is everybody a Tether? Of course not.
And we explain that over and over again. So that means that those questions were never or not in good faith anyway. And those are things that we can clearly recognize. The hell? Check. Let's see. Let me see if this is working. Okay, I'm trying to see if this is working. Okay, I'm about to switch over here, family. So let's bear with me. All right, we can make it work. Okay. All right. That is so crazy. Okay, hopefully we're there. Yeah, blaming our ethnicity. That makes no sense. And these black folks is always they want to dis and those other videos. Hopefully, yeah. These other groups such as what is it, national, whatever that is with the gentleman. And they keep making these excuses for black immigrants. And there isn't one. Now, they just let me get this over here. These type of things are crazy to me. Which they keep trying to use in this one. The foundational Black American reclassification. People like this, you always got to wonder where their family is from, because they're going to say stuff that makes you wonder if a person really believes that African American is a legal term. You realize that some of these people say that, although they have a B on their ID, their driver's licenses, their passports, there's no African American designation there that says black. Where they be getting this, man? Anyway, let's hear what she got to say.
They are reclassifying us right in our faces, and you guys are conforming to it instantly, because all I keep hearing now is foundational Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. If you don't understand that that is a reclassification, and pretty soon you're going to start seeing it on papers, FBA, foundational Black American baby.
This makes me think of a group of people that said, hey, this is like somebody that spent a lot of time in tribe spaces. This is, you actually opened your camera and said, I'm going to make this video and it's going to make sense. Somebody needs to explain to me how Black American is different than foundational Black American. Foundational is an action describing these Black Americans' position here. What is the problem? And here's, well, number one, regardless of Black American, foundational Black American, ADOS, Aboriginal, whatever. It doesn't change the damn lineage. So this is a idiocracy type of conversation to begin with. And I just really I just don't understand why people get so wrapped up in something so stupid. You don't know who the f you are? Why would a title determine your lineage? Like, that is one of the worst displays of intelligence on the planet. You got blood running through your veins and you're literally arguing online day in, day out about a title. Like, it changes the blood. I'm talking about anybody listening to those guys, you are blindingly stupid. Anybody listening to them tribe dudes, anybody, it's amazing. I've been so shocked at watching who wants to go couple themselves up with those idiots. And you gonna tell me that you sit up there and listen to them dudes and say, yeah, what they saying makes sense?
You are reclassifying yourself. They don't have to do much because you are reclassifying yourself as an indigenous American when they reclassified you as freedman, mulatto, Indian, Black, Negro, colored, African American. And now here you are playing into this thing of the foundational Black American.
Oh man, this makes my brain hurt. Anybody who thinks she's on point, let me explain something to you. Every name that you've been going by in this country was given to you. Is this one? Am I getting this right? Is this woman arguing against Black folks for determining who we are in lieu or for the benefit of arguing for white people's classification of us? Ma'am, you can't possibly think that the idea for calling us African Americans was brought up by Jesse Jackson. You really believe that? Are you that? We got some people in our midst that are just too uninformed. And they get out here, and this is a poor display of intelligence. Because you want to come out and hate on somebody, of course, automatically right off the rip that looks like you, while acting like that's not what you're doing and saying, I'm going to hate on people in my house for people across the freaking ocean. And I'm going to call myself good about it. Oh, my God. Oh, blindingly stupid. I mean, let's let her finish. Jesus Christ.
I can't believe this shit. Like, and it ain't even on paper yet. And y'all are reclassifying us. Like, are you? What the helly on?
So first off, let me identify something. I see 2 small children and not a Mrs. by your name. I'm going to need you, ma'am, to take the position of being quiet. You're talking out of your ass. And this is a bad display of intelligence. because you're not informed of what you're saying. And then you're literally advocating for white people labeling us. In her mind, the classifications, okay, YouTube, you got to stop messing with the numbers. There's no way that this number is moving over here. And I'm watching that other number. Yeah, we haven't made a four. That's not a 4 people difference, man. So now I'm seeing what you're doing in the YouTube studio. I just wanted to make sure we're clear here. We see it all. You know, the connection with StreamYard. So if my mic goes out again, we know that that's a connection. It's been this way, but I just want, just want to make sure I say, we're going to slowly get them there. Keep going. Keep going, YouTube. You're going to tell me I know what the hell I'm supposed to be seeing. Man, how much money have I lost on this goddamn app? I mean, I wonder. I really wonder. All these people, you got all of these people be sending these politicians be sending they punk ass trolls over here to just fool with me for and this ain't one of the big channels. You got think tank dudes off up here following me. My shit so shadow banned it ain't funny. But like I said, Miss Nisi, what you need to figure out is what the father of them children is. And have him put a ring on it. Because right now, you look really ignorant. And just to say my life, I was always born as a Black American. Now, and we still are. We're still identified as Black. So I don't understand reclassification by putting an F on it. That's actually putting honor on your ancestors. Actually, how is it a bad thing to say we come from the foundational group of people that blood, sweat and tears built this country, albeit in captivity as slaves? But you know what culture transcends the world today? That very same group of people. And now here we are wanting us to give pieces of that to the entire world. No. It is us and them. And so since we are the influencers, we owe a duty to our ancestors here in this land who never got their proper due. I can't speak for another continent. One thing I do have to ask, though, is with 50 plus countries, why the hell are you not popping? You're a whole continent. Why aren't you popping? Why isn't every Black person on the planet trying to get a ticket to go there? What are we to look forward to, knowing that we are foundational to the land that your people are fleeing to hand over fist? They're not having to jump in slave ships. They're jumping in boats willfully just to hope to get to the shores of America. And then they come here and they become politicians. They become policemen. They go get bootleg nursing and doctorates and then start practicing in our communities. And then they go have state contracts to get daycare centers while also getting money for enclave construction projects to build housing for their community. Black America has never seen anything like that. So, see, what people are saying is you guys are focused on yourself, and that in turn cuts our money off. I mean, we've been benefiting off the back of you niggas for all of these years. Why are you bucking now? God damn. I mean, shit, it's just a natural thing. Y'all let the white man take advantage of y'all for so long. Why not us? And that's what they think of us. You ever let these people tell you, well, because they Democrat, that don't mean a goddamn thing, man. Democrat don't mean black, and black don't mean Democrat. Y'all better understand. And let me tell you something. Here's something that you probably won't see, because I just so happen to come across this little bitty video, but I want you to understand what I talk about and what we mean when we say Tether.
It's so funny when people can't tell I'm African because I'm actually one of the bushest Africans there are, fun fact. When I was growing up, I had student stains on my homework. I would come to school smelling like fried fish and all. I was probably smelling like that until I moved out, to be honest. My parents never cared. WhatsApp is no longer on my phone because of how much I had to use it when I was in middle school. And them calling cards that my mom would make me go get from the gas station. I think the only non-African thing about me is the fact that I just didn't join the ASA in college.
You guys are so defiant FBAs. I mean, you guys just hate blood. You hate Africans, and and you just want everything to yourself. And so but here's another thing that you also got to kind of watch for. You got to watch for the people who want to interject themselves, like this.
Reparations in this curriculum, because it would pretty much dissipate the angerment when it comes to why we need to be sharing reparations amongst Black Americans, Caribbean Americans, because we are a part of a shared piece of history.
A Caribbean, an African didn't know anything about reparations. That started with Black Americans. Matter of fact, a Black American woman by the name of Callie House started the reparation movement back in the 1800s. She gathered Black people, about 300,000 Black Americans, ex-slaves, and was like, you know what? We need to take this up with the government, the Congress, that they need to pay us reparations for enslavement. Callie House. Every reparation movement in the United States goes back to Callie House. And once again, Caribbeans, Africans, they didn't know anything about reparations. That's a Black American movement. But back to my Callie House story, man, I just get so infuriated when people try to hop on somebody else's movement, somebody else's wave. But Callie House gathered 300,000 PAN members. And it was like, yes, let's press this forward to the government. And you know what the government did? This government accused Callie House of fraud. They was like, how are you telling Black people that the government is going to pay them reparations? Why would you even think of that at this time? Because it's no, we're not going to do it. So why even press us? And they locked her up for a year. And that kind of slowed down her movement. She went back home and eventually died. But after they locked her up, that kind of took the movement, the power out of the movement. But if you look at all reparation movements, it goes back to Callie House.
And for those who know, Callie House was also AME. So for those who are unaware of the AME church, and I know a lot of tethers, they like to get, hot. They like to get, feel like, oh, the AME church, it's African. Yeah, it's African Methodist Episcopal, but they knew they were here, and the reason why they chose the word African was because they did not want to identify as colored. It was not because of some extreme connection to Africa. That is not why the African term was used here. African literally was being used here in spite of white racial America. So it wasn't like, oh, we have some kind of inherent connection to Africa. That ain't true. That you'll not find that anywhere in our history. And for those of us who have been to the AME churches, we could matter of fact, speaking of the AME church, hold on. Let me just do this now. Let's give a little bit of history for the Tethers, because, you know, they think they know our history so well. Maybe they do, but probably not.
Wilberforce University, the first HBCU owned and operated by African Americans, was founded in 1856 and later acquired by the African Methodist Episcopal AME Church under Daniel Alexander Payne's leadership. The university served as a beacon of education and freedom for African Americans, reinforcing the connection between abolitionism and higher education. The abolitionist movement played a pivotal role in the prohibition of the slave trade and the eventual abolition of slavery. Key figures, such as William Wilberforce and Daniel Alexander Payne, shaped the struggle for emancipation and its legacy in education, notably through the founding of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, like Wilberforce University and Central State University. Daniel Alexander Payne. While Wilberforce's work in England laid the groundwork for abolition, Daniel Alexander Payne took up the mantle of abolition and education in America. Born to free Black parents in Charleston, South Carolina, Payne became an educator, clergyman, and abolitionist. His early teaching efforts in South Carolina were thwarted when laws forbidding Black education were enacted, prompting him to move north. Payne's abolitionist roots were deeply ingrained in his work, especially through his leadership in the AME Church. After joining the ministry in 1843, he played a vital role in the Philadelphia Vigilance Committee, assisting enslaved people fleeing to freedom. Payne's commitment to abolition extended beyond legal emancipation to include the empowerment of Black people through education. William.
No Africans, just good old Black Americans. It's what we're talking about here. See, this is history, baby. And then when you have such a rich cultural history on the land that your family produced, see, white people feel, especially the Europeans, that, well, I'm entitled to whiteness, and so because American is like that's a redeclassification. As a matter of fact, so for American to be considered what a European descent, that's a reclassification. They are not considered what an American is, not originally. So if you are on the assumption that white is right and that's what they believe, well, okay. But you didn't do your due diligence to know what was really supposed to be there. When you learn that the devil's the devil, you stop listening to the goddamn devil. Jesus.
Wilberforce. William Wilberforce, a British politician and philanthropist, was one of the most influential abolitionists of the 18th and 19th centuries. His tireless work to end the transatlantic slave trade culminated in the passage of the Slave Trade Act of 1807, which banned the slave trade in the British Empire. This victory, however, was only the beginning of a larger battle to abolish slavery entirely. Wilberforce continued his efforts, which finally led to the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. His commitment to justice and freedom influenced the naming of Wilberforce University, reflecting his enduring impact on the fight for freedom. In 1863, during the height of the Civil War, Payne became the first African-American president of Wilberforce University, reopening the institution under the AME Church's stewardship. His presidency was not only a symbolic victory, but also a practical step toward providing African Americans with the education needed to thrive in a post-slavery society.
And by the way, the reason why he's using the word African American so much is because it became a part where certain people in this country were pushing for the Democrats that like, well, we need to be referred to as, and people, because I remember there was a time when people would ask, is it black or is it African American? It's black. I've never been to Africa, don't know Africa. This is the land of our birth. But it's not the land of your origin. Well, if that's the case, nobody's from here. Everybody's from the one single cell and that's found on the continent of Africa. And so we need to do that. Everybody's African then. But if everybody else gets to be where they are and where they have their roots, then we gonna do the same. But we're all black. Yeah, but see, we're discussing a culture right here. These are things that are post-slave, helping because, contrary to the TPUSA, anti-black racist white group, white nationalist group over there, all those white folks that died in the Civil War, there were black folks that died in the Civil War as well. And don't think that all of those folks that died was fighting to end slavery. They were fighting because there were soldiers of the North, period. Now, getting back to real, true black history, where black folks thrive and build. And see, here's the other part that they're jealous of. We didn't flee after being freed. We got it popping.
Payne assembled a diverse faculty and trained students in teaching, theology, and law, ensuring that future generations would have the tools to lead their communities. Payne's educational mission was an extension of the abolitionist cause, demonstrating that freedom without education was incomplete. Under his leadership, the AME Church expanded its reach, establishing schools, churches, and foreign missions. The establishment of Central State University in 1887, Wilberforce University's sister school, further exemplified this commitment.
These are institutions. I mean, I've known people who have literally gotten their education funded by the AMEs. And so this right here, and that's why I could really speak on this sector, because I spent a lot of time there. And so when you're talking about the AMEs, this is part of Black American, foundational Black American culture, Black American history. It has housed GMWA for so many years. For those who don't know what GMWA is, that is the Gospel Music Workshop of America, started by James Cleveland, which is, funny when you get to those type of entities, because then when other Democrat agendas started coming along, you started hearing how there's so much homophobia in the Black community. Really? I guess you need to tell that to the tenor section of James Hall's choir. Anybody remember Wilmington Chester? Wilmington Chester Mass Choir? I believe their director died of AIDS. They had men dressed as women in their choir. That's back in the 90s. In the early 90s. I'll never forget going to a convention and seeing two Negroes dressed in matching cashmere outfits, full-length white matching coats. And everybody was like, oh, this is normal. It ain't. Fun fact, though. Y'all know that Bobby Jones is a really big dude. Bobby Jones is not no little man. I've seen this. We were opening for him on one gig, and we were backstage. Like, this dude is big. He's big like David Allen Greer. Like, if anybody's ever seen these guys in person, they're down. Their size is way downplayed on TV. Those dudes are huge. It's like, I'm 6'2". God damn, this dude, big dude. Yes. Shit, you better know. Yeah, Bobby wasn't no little dude. Y'all maybe see him, oh, he's soft, but it's a big nigga, man. Anyway, let's finish this out.
Central State grew from the industrial and normal department created to train students in practical skills. It reflected the AME Church's belief that education, spiritual, intellectual, and practical, was key to true freedom.
That's Black
By
American
linking
culture right there.
abolitionism with the establishment of institutions like Wilberforce and Central State universities, these men ensured that the fight for freedom would continue, not only in legal terms, but also in the hearts and minds of those seeking knowledge and self-determination.
Facts.
In summary, the abolitionist efforts of William Wilberforce and Daniel Alexander Payne were instrumental not only in ending slavery, but in establishing a framework for the education and empowerment of African Americans. Their legacies live on through the institutions they inspired and led, which continue to play vital roles in Black education and advancement today.
Black History United, I believe. This is the handle is cut off, but yeah. Yeah. So, you know, that is evidence of our own resilience. Also, where did you hear them talk about an African influence? All of the influence that they were talking about came from self-determination. Not no pulling back from some ancient connection from the ancient spiritual systems of Africa. No. Matter of fact, they formed a church praising the Lord, not looking to whatever you guys are doing. But no, they were looking to the east, looking to the hills from which cometh my help. Yeah, it's a big difference. And we are the culture that gave you gospel music, these songs of praise and worship to the Most High. Those are birthed out of us. And from all of that environment also comes funk. And from funk becomes hip hop and rap. And gospel also inspires R&B. You go back to inspiring ragtime to jazz. All of these art forms are derived from our experiences here. And again, why is it that we have such a long history and culture of fighting for freedom and abolishing oppression? Why are we that group and none of these other groups are? Well, I mean, it's the government. The government here was corrupt. Why are we so different than you? Oh, because it's a government psyop, I guess. It's just the government. It's coming and telling us that the things we did that we got popping here, that we could say is actually Black American history. And then the fact that y'all ain't did shit in your homeland, you fled here to come and partake in our HBCUs that we built after slavery. I mean, it's just like, I don't understand what we're supposed to be looking to you as some kind of, oh, you guys are better than us type of factor. How? I'm not at your house. You're at mine. Admiring my drapes, admiring my carpet, admiring my decor. I'm not at your hut. I'm not taking, oh, excuse me, where's your restroom? Oh, it's in the street. I know it sounds bad, but let's be honest here. The hell are we talking about? And then once you get here, what do you do? Oh, you guys are so divisive. Word. Word. You know what? First off, let me first address this. Oh, there we go. Hold on. See? If it wasn't cutting me off, now we got to do the robot thing. Hold on. Okay, hopefully we're back. All right. Is this here? Okay, this right here was really interesting to me, and I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I've been looking sideways at this guy for a while. I see that Brother Tariq has this guy in his video in the new movie. Amongst one of the people that probably need to hit the cutting room floor. This is the thing I don't get. and you know, I have a sneaking suspicion about this guy. And he's done some things that I'm like, Now, again, I can't speak for nobody else's affiliation. But I can say I am not affiliated with any organizations or societies. So I can speak freely. And I know when people are around for a different agenda. Not everybody that screams black, blackity black is necessarily looking out for the interests for all Black Americans. That's why they don't go hard body on reparations. But they'll always have something slick to say against FBA. Got to watch out for these types. I'm just saying. Let's hear what he got to say.
Of being wrong at the same time. Yeah. Right? So essentially, a lot of this is centered around foundational Black Americans. That is a lineage-based group who does act like an organization or a movement with a center head.
How would you determine that it acts like a group with a central head when the code is the leader? And I want to say that this brother turns around. I say, brother, but he turns around and said, well, play the whole video. How do you correct these words, bro?
Which would be Tariq Nasheed. Now, he says that he is not the head of it. It's a lineage, right? And we are not a group, but he definitely acts like, the leader of the group, if you will. And then there is the way that they treat and talk about Africans. So it's very demeaning, right? They talk about delineation, right? Which is a separation and saying that, look, we are Black Americans. We are not associated with other groups and we don't want to be grouped and classed in as well. We are from America, right? We have our rights in America and we're going to continue to make strides and progress here in this land, which is not a foreign concept, right? When there were schemes to push the
See, so what he's going to do is he's going to do the Dr. Smalls thing, and he's going to try to clean that up and be like, well, say you got to listen to the context. And no, you knew what you were saying when you dropped that out there, brother. And anybody with a half a brain know that's a real federal ass statement to say. See, I get it. For a lot of people, y'all ain't been around certain environments. But you got to know when somebody who has been around certain environments, they know they bullshitting you. And they're not sitting there doing this by accident. 19 keys? You mean to tell me that he all of a sudden doesn't know how to use his words? Me, you can miss me? That's rat talk. Yeah, it's a group. And yeah, he acts like the leader. They say they ain't no group. And you in this brother's movie? Shit, I guess Tariq, brother to me, I don't know how the hell this dude would allow this cat to still be a man. He'd be absolutely hitting the cutting room floor. He ain't gonna say this shit about me and now I'm gonna put you in my movie. I'm acting like a leader. Well, he say he ain't the leader. But I mean, they acting like that. They a damn group, man. Really? That's some sucker shit. Kid Gravity Beyond, what's going on, good brother? Good to see you in the house. Yes. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Let me see what I got. Where was that? Black Americans are not a part of the African diaspora. He said you never felt a good spirit from that dude. You know, I and that's the thing for me. Like, you know, when people don't really rock with you. It's just Kid Gravity. You just see, you just made me think of why another in somebody might also have been upset. That's your fault, Kid Gravity. That's your fault. You put me in a bad spot there. But at the end of the day, if I feel you don't really rock with me, you won't be rocking with me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I know what, like, you know, when people don't really fool with you. And then on top of that, then there's some people that be like, oh, well, you know, people can kind of see through things. So, you know, let me go ahead and get this ninja away from me before he can see through me. But I mean, you know, I just think back about all of that though, kid. Oh, there's a lot of backdooring and sabotaging and hooey. Yeah. You go ahead and take me a little step back. And this is the type of shit I'm talking about. You got people coming in around you and like, man, yeah. One who cares? Exactly. Only occupy the rooms you're welcome in. Absolutely. But you know, and with Kid, like, this was a situation where, and I've definitely always maintained kind of being open, but you know, I'm very particular on who I'm rocking with and who I'm endorsing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm not this. The internet is not where my influence begins. I know some people think that, but no. Jeez, I would be acting like half of these other people out here. Like, man, you saying something about me on this internet? Let me get up here and start a space. Nuh-uh, I didn't do that. They lying on me, y'all. Shit. You get your dumb ass out here believing a lie on me? Good for you. I will never argue a bit. But if an opportunity come past my way, it will never hit your doorstep. And just like I talk well about people in the back, I'll talk good about folks behind their back. That's what's known about me. I talk you up behind your back, not down. That's why my name is good. Off this app. Off X. My name is good. Because I've always carried myself in a certain way. I'm extremely loyal, and I'm good to my friends. And anybody really knows me knows that there's a long umbrella from out here. Big one. So, like the one toothless sock dancing idiot that used to be down with this channel, he could tell you. There's a saying. Don't mess with people with long arms. Because you never know who knows who. And what's so crazy is I've seen people. Oh man, it sucks, but it's reality. I've watched people buddy up and couple with. If you call yourself intelligent, my, what would it feel like to know that you were buddy with a person who is a mental institution escapee? Well, no, I'm sorry. He was released. But he's been a repeat, he's had repeat appearances. People speaking out here like I am just so mean. I am not. But I tell you what, when I see faultiness and I see faulty shit, I will call it out. I don't give a damn who you is. I've cussed out people I used to actually really rock with. Why? Because I saw what they was doing against the family. I'm never going to sit up here and let somebody that's around me start putting targets on your back. What I look like? I'm really going to sit up here and let somebody say that y'all rant. Just to say FBA is a hate group, to say FBA is this, FBA say, okay, you don't like Tariq Nasheed, but what about Sister Keisha over here and Brother Jamal over there? What they got to do with your hatred for that man? That you're putting targets on their backs. That makes me look at you like them folks. And you hate Tariq that goddamn much to damn everybody else? Really? You hate that man that much? Well, what has he did to you? I just don't like him. I believe he does this to our people. I believe he does that to our people. And at the same time, I'm going to turn right around and put a big old target for the feds to come target my people because I don't like him. You big lion-ass hypocrite. Don't care about black people no more than yourself. Because you mean to tell me your hatred for him has you putting targets on black folks? That is one of the most selfish behaviors ever. But I know it because you cussed out a woman. Let me say it like this. If you were born in the year 1976, sick as hell, and we used to be moderators for this channel, but one thing I had to also come to the conclusion. I'm extremely heterosexual. So there's certain things I just don't do. I don't tolerate. And I your hatred for him outweighs the love for your people. And in her mind, she's telling herself that this is for the people. And my biggest thing with these individuals is they spent all of that time under Boyce Watkins making bad deals with Boyce, but at the same time, shitting on Tariq. Did anybody ever catch what was really going on there? Every last one of the women that was down with Boyce Watkins has turned on Tariq, with the exception of Vicky Dillard. And that's the one who turned on Boyce. And so what's funny is my old moderator, who actually was trying to get into the mix of Vicky's new wave, which of course, by the way, means that she was backdooring Tariq Nasheed. Still, no one can put two and two together, though. I still watch everybody run around with this one. And it amazes me that no one can ever figure out that she was trying to get beef between me and Afro Elite. I think, unfortunately, he probably listened to some of the horse shit she said, but hey, that's on him. And for everybody else who listened to the things that she said, I just hope you ain't gave her too much information about you. Because if you've ever talked to her, it's recorded. Keep telling y'all asses, you goddamn cop. Anyway. Crazy. Because, hey, remember, Judah, somebody is tied to Georgia law enforcement, ain't they? Just think about what I'm saying. And then you start putting all of these other little pieces together. What were we witnessing, Judah? Boy, there's some things I've heard, but I've been around this thing for a minute, y'all, and y'all don't understand. And I am not the person for credit. My important thing is the movement. I know that people can't understand that because they haven't really been around me like that, and I get it. Because, hey, you just got this YouTube. Man, listen. The route that they was want me to take was trying to get me into television. So that way I get away from this. Why? Because I'm Mr. New Black Media. And so much so that they know, well, in the midst of this thing moving, most people don't even know who the hell I am. Which I don't care, because this is not a popularity contest movement for me. This is about us. And when you have bigger voices that are bigger names, those are the names that you use to further the message. It makes common sense to me. It's been pretty freaking effective over here now, hasn't it? So for the people who have been rocking with me behind the scenes, who really knew what was happening, keep telling people, man, y'all better thin y'all circles, because there have been people that we have been able to witness doing subversive things. Crazy, ain't it? I mean, I'm talking about recording phone calls. The craziest thing for me is the tagging of other people in posts to say, hey, let me tag everybody in this post. Look at what this person is doing. That's what Janky Goddess always would do. And I guess, she done finally got her little following up. She still can't say shit to y'all because she doesn't have anything worth a damn to tell you. But she's been great at being the flagship of something. And I gotta I got to remember to post this video. Members, make sure you keep tuned to the members area because there's a video I have not posted. And so for those who, I give kind of a rundown of something to look out for, but I will mention it now. For years, the voices of new Black media have never taken a handle of FBA anything. Anybody notice that? Now, all of a sudden, you got a lot of pages and things, and they all got FBA in them, right? I just want y'all to pay attention when you start seeing what I coined a few years back as grassroots COINTELPRO tactics. And one of the first signs that we are going to be looking for are a bunch of pages that pop up with FBA in the handle. You see why while this is what the benefit of consistency is? Because we're so consistent, I can say, hey, I said this 4 years ago, baby. Yeah, y'all never did that and don't need to. Why would we? We clearly represent foundational Black Americans because that's who we are. We've always told you this is a new Black media thing. Why? Because media, this medium, the microphones are the ways, and we are speaking for the people. Now, for all of these people who you are now watching pop up, for all of these years of those spaces a few years ago, these are people who are just now recently getting vocal, but pay attention to how long they've been around. So they've sat and observed, and now we're coming into another election cycle. It's time to activate the next wave. I've warned y'all for years, this troll factory that they got, and they'll start sending them out for waves. So just get used to looking for the new faces. And here we are. That's why you have a new Black media, because we are going to tell you the truth, and we are truly independent. I am not no Mason. I'm not no part of a fraternity. I am the only thing that I have a number to, besides all my other business, is my ASCAP membership. So I mean, yeah. And have I been invited to join? Yes, most definitely. Even when in my first situation, they got me in jail. So when I first got booked for my my only one case with the law, of course, defending myself. Why do Black folks defending themselves all of a sudden become the criminal? Oh, because the person was white, and they are white supremacists. And that's funny because the courts knew that I knew this person, what they were. But that doesn't matter because shit, it's me, and then there's the other guy that's trying to get out in Southern Oregon who defended himself against this guy, calling him a bunch of N-words and assaulting him at the same time. And then, yep, he had to handle his business, and now he's fighting for freedom. Welcome to Oregon. But anyway, yeah, Crew Reality, I gotta check my ASCAP. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You never know, because you hit that threshold. Luckily for me, shout out New Zealand. Hell, well, y'all got it popping when I was gone. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Shout out to New Zealand. Yeah. UK, salute. There's a damn problem with our folks, too. Support live music, damn it. Good soul singers should not have to only be recognized across the country, across the globe. We should get some love right here. I got, Song of the Week over there, Record of the Month. twice. One for Love Games, one for my song With Pleasure. One more time. Yeah. I had 2 records of the week over there. My case was on video with a witness and still charged. Face 32-0. Oh, they was going to try to hit me right off the rip with the 15. They had to knock one charge off. But yeah, and your case is on video and you're still charged. So people want to act like this doesn't happen. Yes, it does. Yeah. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, do they love railroading us, man? Oh, don't you kid yourself, baby. Oh, choo-choo. They love putting us on that train. You got your bags packed. We got a bag full of blues for you. Shit. Man, let me tell you something, man. I've been all too familiar with this. So, saying all of this to say is that when dealing with situations like this, you damn sure don't need to be keeping company with somebody who's trying to build a case against you. Repeat that one. You do not need to be spending so much time with somebody who's trying to build a case against you. I had a person around me for 3 years that spent 3 years trying to build a case against me. Why do you think everything is recorded? But you cussed her out, though. And everybody just rock with that person. I got to look side-eye at y'all, man. Like, did you miss what the hell I told you? Or do you not believe it? Or, I mean, at what point do we say, hey, that does kind of smell like a rat? Maybe distance with that is best. I'm not saying people got to take a position, but I do believe, as I've watched this play out even here with people, and then people end up being, oh, damn, they really was a rat. Yeah. You hear all this, and you ain't hearing this in the wind for nothing. But I'm telling you, folks, because when you like somebody, boy, that liking somebody, boy, tell you ass something, man. These folks, they'll like somebody till on death. And it's a damn shame. And then at the end of the day, they be sitting up there, you're going to be sitting up there looking awkward as hell. Because you was loud and wrong. And you're going to be feeling like this.
And forfeit. N. No N. Brandy.
Real quick. A while back, my wife had a dream. Sometimes people have prophetic dreams. Judah, listen to this. My wife had a dream that the feds came kicking in my door. And guess who was sitting in my living room? My former moderator. I mean, man, there was so much that went on. I'm just like, because I had a group, I had my own moderator chat. And so, yeah, Judah, my wife had a hose and said that the feds came in, got me out, and she just was sitting in my living room, not saying a word. Who is it? Have you ever heard of anybody with the last title of the God? I was a former moderator of this channel. She's the one that brought you Angel Love. The Nigerian who wants to be the hub of Black grassroots. I remember in my group chat, like maybe I might have like a video call or something with QA. And here comes, boop. Here comes somebody popping in the call. Boop. Are you hearing me, Judah? Like this is, I mean, people be, she was so worried about me exposing her so many, like, oh yeah. Hey man, that would be something in itself for me to go through because yes, I got 3 years of conversation with this person. So here's the other thing that everybody seemed to freaking miss. I wasn't romantically interested in this individual. This person, however, was doing things in the opposite direction. But let me tell you something. My friend game is hella strong. There is zero room out here. There's zero room out here for error, and I don't play that. So, you know, there was, I mean, I'm a good nigga, man. And y'all better be giving me credit for that. Good Jesus Christ. I mean, and then other people come around and say, I got to hear from folks that are dealing with other folks. And, you know, my name is, I just sucker shit that was being done to me behind my back. It's like, you know, I mean, I'm very well aware. So much so that people had to send me text messages and screenshots of things. Boy, I will tell you one thing. There's some people right now that are boy, they doing like this. Shh. Whoo, I'm so glad Sir Major's gone. Woo, he ain't gonna blow the lid off of me. Yeah, well, he still did make sure to reach out before he left. There's a lot of y'all that, well, I won't say a lot, but there are some of y'all that are foul as hell. Foul as hell. And all y'all will be able to say about me is, he cussed her out. I really will go back and listen to what I cussed her out about. One of those things was backdooring D. Tubman. Although D. Tubman shit on me too. But, you know, it's water under the bridge now. Because I was trying to warn somebody that, hey, you know, they're trying to backdoor D. Tubman because they want to replace D. Tubman. Oh, well, Beatzilla don't know what the fuck he talking about. I wonder what happened to her. Look for the BGR headquarters. Oh, she's all of a sudden just recently popped up. We're back in a swing going into an election year. When I say that people need to hit the cutting room floor of that movie, I ain't playing. I am not playing. I'm so glad I'm not a newbie. I'm glad I'm not a newbie. Hey, man, don't invite. What they say, don't throw rocks at the prison. Well, shit, you got to get the police out your house first. Shit. And I've said it enough about the back channels. You guys still in back channels. That's at your own peril at this point, man. That's absolutely at your own peril, man. If you are still in the back channels, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you. Oh, I'm telling you, at the moment when you realize I'm right, this is going to be it. Don't let this be you.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn! God damn! What? Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Don't let that be you. You don't want that. See, when they kick in your door, you be like, oh man, I thought they wasn't cool. You got to know how to look for the signs, man. This is a savvy thing we got here. Do you understand? We are in a leaderless movement that is literally pushing a hard line. You know how much they got to work to infiltrate this? Don't give them ammunition. You absolutely have a leader. That's why you got to have like people like 19 keep betraying Tariq to go out there and say some fat ass shit like he did. Yeah, he says he's not the leader, but we know he's the leader. All of that type of talk ain't doing nothing but putting targets on people's backs. And in that regard, you're a sucker for doing that. Where is this? Where is that at? Where is that at? Where you at? There's some. I just downloaded you. Where you at? Looking for this video because we need to get you on this PSA. Oh, I also got something else I need to play for y'all. Where'd it go? What the hell? Okay, that's weird. Well, then I'll just do it this way. Okay. Yep, we're just going to do it this way. Okay, so this is today's PSA, folks. Oh, that's so shaky. Yeah, let's clean that up there. There's his handler. There's the team. Just need you to understand. When y'all hang around these back channels, this is what you are opening yourself up to. Back channel Bernard. Gathering intel for this guy. And see, they're putting it together to go ahead and serve you up to the feds right there, see? Yeah, y'all better. Better watch out for back channel Bernard, man, and back channel Betty, because you got to understand, man, when you allow these types in your midst, you just got to respect the fact that back channels, can they be used for think tank fuel? What do you think? What do y'all think, family? Can the back channels be used for think tank fuel? I would say that would be a great start. Like people say, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to bring your conversation over here. you need to come to this app and you need to do such and such over here. You know, I was kind of down with that idea until my conversation with, or my meeting with Isaac Hayes Jr. And then I was like, huh. I smell the government. You are selling us something to have private conversations. And he's selling it to us as if having a Black community online would be better served on a Black-owned app, such as Fanbase. That's what he calls it, right? And so he literally sold it as, come here to have offline conversations. Anybody know me? I don't do that. You'll never have. There's nobody saying. That's the one thing for me. Like, all the things that you could say for this chick that was around me for 3 years is, listen to him cuss me out. And then, oh, he's did all of this other things to me. Oh, really? Can you show us the proof of it? No. She's just been worried that the shoe was gonna drop. But yes, Fanbase. When I talked to them and I was hearing, like, I didn't like the lingo. Then, you know, of course, in that time we've had melanated people and 6 zeros. And after all three presented themselves with a very big red flag to me, I acted accordingly, and yeah, we had to definitely distance ourselves from those apps. And so, but I say that to say this movement is so important that they got these people that have come around you and try to entangle you in some kind of conspiracy type of, like, see, they were talking this and this is what they were saying. You got to be careful out here, family. And at the same time, we're fighting against that type of thing. We have a real big issue with I would say a real big issue with Black folks being still tied to their sexuality. And sexuality drives their reality. And so for people like Isaac Hayes, he calls himself a producer. He's the son of a great musician. Let's just say that. He's the offspring of a great musician. He definitely uses his father's name and recognition to further his own situation. But yeah, there's that. So again, like I said, this is before he hooked up with Roland. And that, again, is another dead giveaway that, like, he done hooked up with Roland and Roland is pushing that. It's like, I'll never forget a person who even brought me back a proposition from Roland Martin. Now, this is Beatzilla we're talking about. Not Tariq Nasheed, not Jason Black, not Professor Black Truth. That's Beatzilla. And this is Roland Martin asking about basically a kind of a truce. But what his proposition was And since you spoke to me through another entity, that's from DC. And because I remember this person being at this event, and I'm like, the hell are you doing there? And they had a little conversation with old Roland. And again, I understand it, people have their hands in multiple buckets. I get that. So, you moving this way, and I also see this other opportunity with another individual that's clearly getting popping more so on the mainstream at the moment. And he wanted to represent. This is why he fights so hard, because he wants to be the liaison between the grassroots and Washington. That's why now you're also hearing a lot of other older activists. See, and so this is what I'm now learning, that this wasn't Roland Martin talking. This is Roland Martin delivering a message, because now I'm starting to hear the same type of talk from Al Sharpton. And so what these people are doing, listen to when they're talking about independent media and they're talking about the people that just start the cameras and the mics up and all of who they're talking about, because they mentioned Tariq and Jason Black. They'll mention them by name. Now that means us. So I get it. That's why they don't mention New Black Media no more like that. Why am I froze? Am I still frozen on your side? I hope not. What is going on here? Why am I so frozen? I just look at these big, long pauses of me being froze. Oh, well, hopefully the sound is cool. Said no one listens to Roly Poly. There are some that do. I can't say they don't. Yeah, somebody's listening, unfortunately. Now, let me get to showing you these other videos, because there's somebody else I need to warn you about. And they're involved in all of this. So, looking from the old garb of foundational Black American traders like Jim Clyburn, like a Maxine Waters, those are the bought and paid for people that are absolutely keyed in on whatever the Democrats and the powers that be want. So let me show you some things from some old niggas. There's no better way to clarify what the hell I'm saying. Let's just look at it.
The lineage advocates, whom I call La, I could call another, but anyway, sound eerily like the slave catchers during enslavement who roamed the back roads of the South. And
how would anybody talking about their lineage sound like a slave catcher? You see that is a wild reach in comparison. We're delineation and so talk about lineage, our lineage, that sounds like slave catching. Nigga.
Stopped enslaved people from reaching their destinations unless they could produce papers written by their enslavers proving that their travel was legitimate. They also echo the infamous pass laws that were part of South Africa's way of controlling how Black folk move from one neighborhood to another.
Not sure about what that has to do with lineage. Lineage has nothing to do with neither one of those two things that he just mentioned. See, this is this lie on Black folks. And see this woman up here to the left? That's Jessica Jam Ayawayawonya something. She says she's Geechee from South Carolina. I believe this woman is African. But even if she is actually us, that's even more egregious. Because then she's just like a damn traitor. Like, what's that woman from California, Cheryl, was it Grimes? Is it Grimy? Cheryl Grimy? Remember, I need to go find that old meme where I had the reparations conversation and they take the picture after they solidified it was going to be based on lineage. And she's just in the picture, just everybody else is. Cheryl Grills? Cheryl Grills, I think is her name. Ooh, she was hot that day. Hot as fish grease, baby.
Thirdly, not only are the lineage folk advocating white legal documentation to make our people eligible for reparations, but they are also pathologically anti-Pan-African.
Facts. Now that part is true, but let me just go back to this part. This is from quite a few years ago. I think this was like 2021. 21. Okay. Now, what are we talking about today? The voter ID, the SAFE Act, or SAVE Act, or whatever. What are they saying then? Oh man, it's gonna be like the slave codes and have to be like the slave catchers. Ain't that the exact same thing this old ninja just said? They're reusing this lingo. And so what they're actually using is anti-delineation propaganda to promote people fighting against the SAVE Act. This is low-key another anti-foundational Black American agenda, folks. Pay attention.
Legal documentation to make our people eligible for reparations, but they are also pathologically anti-Pan.
You would need paperwork to make your people eligible for reparations. Well, then they're not freaking eligible for reparations because they're not us. And so what that also is talking about is they would need papers to be able to legally vote. It's the exact same line.
Pan-African.
Yeah, we absolutely wholeheartedly reject Pan-Africanism. We understand that you don't. But we know that, this is what it is over here. Let's hear some more.
It's a debt owed for the free labor. As long as you can trace your lineage to the 1870 census, you're entitled to the claim. Why should other people be included on a claim they're not entitled to? It's like filling an insurance claim for an accident and your cousin trying to get in on the claim and he wasn't in the car. So again, why should people be included that weren't here?
I don't want to even respond to that because I think, with all due respect, it's an uninformed question. It's a question.
It's a question that's so uninformed. Well, here, let me help inform the people and maybe the person that asked that question might be watching this broadcast right now. And so for the uninformed, let me inform you of the funding partners of this panel that you are watching right now. All of these like big foundations that you would see at the end of like BBC productions and OPB shows and stuff like that, and the MacArthur Foundation and the Berkeley and all of these Kellogg Foundation. Why are they concerned about reparations? Why are they concerned about who gets our reparations? There are no foundational Black Americans listed in this particular group of people who are putting this woman and funding these panels out here. So why are these people taking money from these people to combat other Black folk? But we sound like slave catchers? We're not the ones taking money from non-Black people. You are.
That, just, you could spend 1 hour on that, question that is uninformed. So I'll let somebody else do that one.
You just don't have an answer for it. That's what you could say.
Some of the stuff, but see, this is a COINTELPRO. Let's attack Queen Mother Moore, the mother of the movement.
Callie House would be the mother of the movement. See how we already got there? And we've already demonstrated that Callie House is the mother of the movement? See what they do? And so now they're going to sit, here's the old Negro crew to come through and say, well, we're going to tell you this is different. And never forget, now she's on the bottom right, that woman right there, National Black Cultural Information Trust, is funded by all of these folks that ain't never did shit for black people a day in their lives. They sit up here and fund all of this other stuff everywhere else, and they do not have our best interests at heart at all. But they do want to control our conversation of reparations, and that is absolutely demonic, and these people ain't shit for participating in such an evil, wicked device against their own people.
Modern reparations movement.
No, they're not trying to attack her. They're trying to take her away from what her philosophies were all about, and they're trying to pigeonhole it into something else to justify what they're doing and saying. That's what it is.
You see, do you hear the anger that they have against other black folks?
I'm not a baby. I was in college in the 70s, and I took a class called The Black Family, and we were given an assignment to trace our genealogy. And I was fortunate. My grandmother gave me quite a list, and then later on, I was able to connect with one of my aunts who was a lay genealogist, and she had a lot of information. My dad had a lot in his memory. And so I was able to go in the class back to at least 1860. I was the only person in that class in the 1970s who could do that, except for a white girl.
That I really got to wonder about, because I don't have to do no 1970. And I can. So, I mean, again, like my relative, to whom again we hail from, William Witzel. There's William Witzel Park out there in Denver, Colorado. First free black born child in the state of Colorado.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
But these people want to have hands in our reparations. You just got to know these folks are not to be trusted, ladies and gentlemen.
When we look at what's happening in terms of COVID, the response of this administration to the COVID crisis, who does that impact? Black and brown people primarily. They act like it's not a big deal because it affects us. That's white supremacy. That's institutional structural racism. That's on the ballot as well. And so we have to put all this into context in terms of voting or not voting. To not vote in this election could be fatal to black aspirations, fatal. People could die because we decided not to vote. And I'm not saying that I'm exhorting, I'm not castigating. I'm just saying this is incredibly powerfully, incredibly important.
And mind you, he is referring about the election of 2020, not 2024. He's talking about the election for Joe Biden. So after we seen what happened after that, he's talking about black and brown. He's trying to push that coalition crap, right? However, this day one of their new administration opened the floodgates to let 12 plus million illegals into this country. And it's been a strain on the backs of black Americans ever since. Right now, we have another crisis because this thing never should have began in the first place. And so now we'll just watch these Democrats throw all the blame on Trump. But hey, we the people are watching all of you. That's why they have to mention independent now sometimes in the news before they mention the Democrat or Republican. They say independent Democrats and Republicans. Period.
Back to the theme of white nationalism. Imagine President Obama having a white nationalist in the White House as a senior policy advisor.
Imagine praising Joe Biden for coming up with an anti-black law, with an anti-black staunch, anti-segregationist, racist in Strom Thurmond. The crime bill that target Black American youth was written by Joe Biden and Strom Thurmond. And here this old nigga is telling you, well, what would it look like if Obama had won? The dude you're trying to get black folks to vote for right now wrote a crime bill against black people, and he wrote it with a absolute anti-black racist. Very well documented. Not only that, he turned around and eulogized the man at his funeral. But here you are, old Negro, to tell us how we're supposed to kiss the ass of Joe Biden. This is what my point is with this picture. How to tether to FBA. It's impossible to do it without that 92% of wannabe white feminists, black feminists, and old niggas. This is my problem. This is our problem right goddamn now. I sit up here and I listen to Al Sharpton shows and listen to them people calling in, and I'm like, what the what planet are y'all living on? Wait, man, what we got to do now is just vote. And tell the illegals to vote before they come across the border. Don't talk to no black folks about voting no more. That just sounds silly. It sounds silly. Yeah, they said that to you. Man, that made less sense than the Kamala Babble. And man, might I remind you, this is for the 2020 election, not 2024. So, I mean, this is it's the same playbook because we've actually literally now have lived through them rehashing this type of talking point. It's insanity.
In the person of Steve Bannon. And you still have Stephen Miller there right now. This is white nationalism in the White House. Now, that's important in terms of reparations because Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, among other things, has said that H.R. 40, that reparations is the one umbrella issue that cuts to the very heart of structural institutional racism. And that is manifest in H.R. 40. And it's already been said eloquently and powerfully by Sister Ajwa Torre, and others will say likewise, we have never, ever advanced this far. And I really have to give a shout out to that awesome Kenneth Henry, because she has been pounding and pushing with the Incorporated Legislative Commission. She is just awesome.
You know, it's so funny. They over here patting themselves on the back, and they just silently didn't tell Black America or anybody that the bill literally died. HR 40 to be picked up right now would need to be reintroduced. Notice how none of these people that say the N-Cobras, none of these old niggas tell you that. But I did right here on this broadcast. We told you that, was it January 1st, 2023? That was the end, that it ran out. So if it was going to be picked up, it would need to be reintroduced. Sheila Jackson Lee is in the grave. And so to man, all this work on HR 40. No, HR 40 gone, baby. If you want to reintroduce it, you have to reintroduce it. But here's the thing. We've already had commissions. We don't need no study at this point. We know what it is. And I'll tell you even more so, I don't want to see anybody telling us to vote for the party that's advocating for people who can't vote. You're not taking care of the people who put you where you are, and you want us to keep you or put you back where you were when you've sat up here, and all you do right now is shut down the government for citizens for the benefits of illegals who shouldn't be here. And for Black America, I really hope that Black America would wake the freak up and understand that the reason why 12 million people are here is to boost the numbers of whiteness. And boosting the numbers of whiteness is not a Republican agenda. It is a white supremacist systematic agenda, because to undergird the system, you need the bodies and you need subservient entities in place to battle what? Our Black asses. And I wish that our people would start waking up. We don't have no time to be fighting with one another about nothing.
And Cobra has been leading the charge to get us to that 162 sponsors, along with others who are part of a massive coalition who are getting that work done.
And now it's completely in the shitter. Good freaking going. Guys ain't worth a damn. You hear me? Not worth a damn. But I just wanted to show you and go back to that, because every you see that Gen 1, the fix is in and they are no good. Let me touch a little bit on this real quick. Okay. And real quick, YouTube. Gotta get my views over 1,000, baby. I know what we're doing. So come on. Get my numbers to where they're supposed to be, please. I greatly appreciate that. Because obviously as much shit I actually do endure. My numbers are actually can't be accurate. So I need you to do what you're supposed to be doing. And stop freaking shadow banning today. And stop staying out of my studio. And make sure these numbers get up. I see where I'm at now. And I at least need to see that when this live ends. I saw how you did it last week. And you showed half of my numbers at the end. Family. This is the type of shit they're doing to me. And they've been doing. But last week's live is 7,000, almost 8,000 people now. The live before that, we ended the live with 2,400. So when I ended the live last week, it said 4,000. I saw all 7,700 people when I ended the broadcast. So what YouTube's turning around and doing is then start slowly just janking my views like people are watching. No, that's the actual number that I had when I was live. So that's the type of things that's going on here. Any attorneys out there want to holler at me, please feel free. Hopefully I wasn't echoing. Here we go.
Back, yeah. And so because it rolled growing up. People with that kind of slavery. And so Black slavery in the U.S. was just unique.
Yeah.
But the other thing I think that people who are from like where our families are from, what they don't recognize is that kind of slavery caused African Americans to produce, I would say, the most dominant cultural force that's ever lived.
World. And that's what we're seeing is spread. That's
No. It wasn't the slavery that made these people what they are. we're not enslaved today, and we are still us. So that means we were this before slavery. Why would, see, people do all of this, we don't know who we are and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you get out here and say, well, yeah, they have this great culture here. And then it was slavery that made them like that. That's the excuse of why they're so different than everybody else on the planet. Because that was because of chattel slavery. I beg to differ. No, that's just because that's who the hell we are. That's almost giving credit to white folks for our greatness, isn't it? How would slavery being just greatly over? No, the perseverance, that's inherent of internal traits, not external traits. And this is how you know when people are not us. Because, oh yeah, I saw the hoodie, Judah. Yeah, immigrants don't make America elite. If that was true, then America would be built by immigrants versus free labor from black slaves. And I know the lie that they like to do, America was built by immigrants. No, the hell it wasn't. Nope. Not in the least. Anyway, let's hear some more.
So we see it spread everywhere.
It's and it doesn't come, and it comes from Africa endemically, right? The food, the rice, the dishes they eat, the oxtail, everything.
How does it come from Africa if we have no connection to it? We were cut off from Africa, so where is the connection to bring that over here? I don't think on plantations the slave master was going to the grocery store for the slaves. Where do these people get this? Oh, hey, master, hold on now. Wait a minute. You know what, master? Hold on. You know what? I got something for you. I can't read or write, but let me write you down here this little shopping list. I need some eggs. I need some milks. I need some rice. Oh, I need some okras. Now let me get you this. The people who couldn't read or write was given a grocery list. Did they text it to him? What these people talk about? We know our ancestors was in a condition to where that's how soul food is derived. Now these people are sitting over here, yeah, it comes from Africa. So, oh, geez, come on, dude. No, man. Everything is happening where you're at. And they act like how is it that you're gonna take credit for every goddamn thing we do? We're so removed from here, we don't even know you. You don't know our family names, but somehow what we've done created and got popping is connected to you. It's inherent. No, ma'am, it ain't. And we don't eat piles of shit. We don't eat and drink cups of cow piss and shower in cow piss, and we don't wear deer piss musk to attract our women. These are things we just don't do. We don't eat bush meat. Like this, y'all eat like y'all in the day after tomorrow, and we over here making it do what it do in slave conditions, being handed slops. And look what we did today. Fried chicken is a freaking staple on all over the world. That Asians are frying chicken. Go to Jollibee's. All they give you is dark meat. That's slave food. Go to Jollibee's, the little Filipino chicken spot. Then they tell you how they learned how to fry chicken. It was from black folks. So what they do? fried up chicken, legs and thighs, and gave you a side of gravy. Oh yeah, that really sounds like traditional Filipino. You said dog sandwiches on lunch breaks. Jesus Christ. Woo! Oh my goodness. Oh yes, Asians do not cook like us, especially mac and cheese and candied yams. That's a fact. They have tried this, like, been experimenting in certain areas, like maybe like Japan, but that's because they got more of an international hub over there. So there's like soul food restaurants over there, but collard greens don't grow over there, so you have to use kale, and kale is not a substitute for. Kale ain't even a substitute for turnip greens, but it's most definitely not a substitute for collards. No. And preferably, speaking of how I grew up with the Holy Trinity. So if you know anything about that, that's supposed to be collards, mustards, and turnips. Of course, you cook your collards first. Second wave would be your turnips. Last, of course, your mustards. Kale is more of a side salad, right? It's like, I can't see. Like, you just go season them kale, like you're gonna try to do. I don't know, how would that turn out? Because your meat. Oh, I guess if you cook the meat down, like say if you had a smoked turkey neck or leg or kale, shoot, the little turkey tails, some smoked turkey tails, put it in there. I don't think it would be enough cooking time to really flavor the kale like that. I just don't see it. But nonetheless, and it's so funny. These people talk about, the okra. Like, Africa is the only place of okra eaten on the planet. Come on, man.
There's an Africanness to it, but its origin story is America. Yeah. And so then
either the origin story is American or it's not. Yeah, well, it's inherently African, but the origin story is America. Well, then its origin is based in America. That's common sense, as you just clearly stated yourself that it has origin here.
Create this thing that is, up until a certain, we didn't even say African American when I was growing up. People would say, they used to say Negro, then they said African American, and blacks kind of rejected that. Yeah. The term that Black Americans like is black.
They like black. Yep.
I'm black and I'm proud. This is a staple of America. Why do you think white folks say the blacks? You think they say, no, they don't like us, but they understand what we say we are. Simple as that. The blacks. Well, the blacks.
And so because it rolls
was it
over.
Jesse brought up African American, Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, it was this idea of saying we're African, but in America. Yeah. But African, when I was growing up, being African was not cool. Us little four little Africans.
We got made fun of.
Yeah, right? So they were like, oh, the African booty scratcher. They used to say like that. Remember African booty scratcher? Because African Americans trace their ancestry to Mississippi, to Alabama, to America. Yeah. But what they did is they took, there are 2,500 different indigenous groups in Africa. It's the most biodiverse.
So now she's going to kind of skip over the fact that there's black indigenous people here.
They may not, but they come from different tribes. You throw them all together, stick them in a slave ship, strip them of their identity. In a generation, they're not Hausa, they're not Igbo, they're not Yoruba, they're just black.
Black, yeah.
And so this culture of blackness, of American blackness,
it's a real culture.
Powerful. It's a new tribe. It's a unique tribe, and we need to respect it.
Some Africans.
Now that's an interesting position she just made. It's a new tribe, and we need to respect it. That's where the problem is. Now, she actually did tell the truth there. It's a new tribe, and we need to respect it. Now, I will have to disagree with that new tribe part. Matter of fact, why didn't this person who dropped these scriptures in my chat earlier drop the one scripture I asked him about? That's funny. Hey, where'd you go? You know, you were going to throw it like, FBI means government. Where'd you go, man? You were giving Bible verses and everything. And yeah, where's this guy? Where? Let me go back here. Yeah, this guy here. Where did you go? I asked you, since you're pushing Bible verses and you're saying that all of this means government, well, then I ask you simply tell me, what does Daniel 12:1 say? Yeah. But see, that gets a little too over your head, and you had to resubscribe to the channel? Antithesis had to resubscribe? Hey, look at this. This person, Antithesis, is number one, has been a long time member of this channel. Right now, don't have their badge, but and also a super chats and cash apps, which I, of course, don't reflect here, but still, like, so for that's like bumping Judah. That's crazy. Well, thank you for letting me know that. My messages were not showing. What? What? Wow, we playing like that? Man, if anything like that in the future happens, y'all, let me know, please. Please let me know. Wow. YouTube, get your shit together. Wow. And see, we over here having positive black building. I've been on the whole broadcast. Wait, you had to resubscribe during the same broadcast? Because it's on subscriber only, so they booted you out while you're in the chat subscribing or actually chat. Oh, come on, man, come on, you can't make this shit up. Come on, man. They don't want this content getting out. And that's why I'm one of the most shadow banned platforms out these streets. They done sent folks to come and try to infiltrate stuff. Try to sabotage stuff, try to get me close to things and then start doing funny shit. Man. By the way, God lover isn't watching anymore. He probably left. White T let troll. Yeah, YouTube let trolls. Yeah, and keep supporters out. Ain't that something? And look at that, family. Look at what Judah said, because this is true. So they let somebody come in here in my chat and do what they want to do. But my actual, like, long-term subscribers are getting booted out of, like, you're kicking them off of being subscribed to a channel while they're in the chat. I wonder how many other folks things get dealt with like us. You know, I'm just saying. Make that bigger. There we go. Can I make that? Is that wide? I'll do the talk. We're gonna do talk. There we go. See the words there? Yeah, we'll go medium. I'm gonna make sure I got the size because they were so small on the screen. There we go. That is diabolical. That's wicked. It's wicked as hell. Oh, Lord. So, there's three Africans talking about how they're being, how they grew up, and they said they need to respect it. I would say Joy Reid probably learned the hard way, because we got a hell of an umbrella over here. And at the end of the day, there's some of these people that come over here and have acted and behaved in certain ways that we will never forget. And some are going to have to really do some soul searching about how they address some of these things like this. Oh, let me turn that music off. Hold on. Let me turn that off. Never forget, I started off earlier by showing you the HBCU connection and how HBCUs came together and whatnot. I'm still stuck on her hoodie. and at the end of the day, these people come here, this is no respect. African Takeover Day at a institution that is started by abolitionists and freedom fighters against oppression in this country. This is an institution made for the children of those slaves that didn't flee. And here they are with the nerve to say African Takeover Day? How does that work, man? Really? And I get it. You got your culture. But let me just explain something. In the midst of having your African Takeover Day, I just would like to enlighten the world to the humongous fact that this is delineation. This is delineation. Get that tether pop on, girls. Tether pop, tether pop. Yeah. Oh. Gotta get that tether pop on. Y'all know about that tether pop. Yeah, Howard University. Look at them. They proud and happy. Yeah, let me show you my flag. Yeah. Damn those Akatas. Yeah, Akatas ain't got no culture. They have no culture. Here we are, and we're going to come get our opportunities off the Akata's backs. Thank you, Akata. Oh, there's the Jollof. And see, they're not even giving no love to the Caribbean. I hope y'all understand what's happening here. There's no diaspora love right here. This is just all about African countries. No, it's all about the continent, not about the diaspora. So when they said African Takeover Day, they just specifically meant people from the continent. However, Essence Fest is being mentioned as something that has culturally evolved into what? You come over here, and this is what you're doing in front of our faces. This is African Takeover Day, which is delineation, by the way. But nobody calls that divisive. There's no up in arms unless black folks are saying something. Well, hey, what's up with this? Oh, y'all guys are xenophobic and hating. Well, that's not really xenophobic. We're asking, why are you at the institution of black slaves talking about an African takeover? That's a gesture of hostility. Right? So are you seeing where we're saying how you tether to the future? You got old ninjas that will assist outsiders against their own people. So what do you need to teach somebody how to tether? You need an old ninja woman, a tether ninja, and a tether ninja woman. And with that trifecta, you have a recipe for absolute anti-foundational Black American betrayal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how old Democrats are trying to tether our future. I guess they felt that the job wasn't done because they 85 plus still trying to run and save their damn seats. What a shame. What a shame. And, you know, I don't believe that the person that was in here earlier was white. That put the Bible verses saying we represent that. No, you know, actually putting the Bible verses in there, but then saying that we're the government and this is a person that probably has spent some time around Israelites, but is also a agent. So they're actually trolls. That's why the messages are convoluted. So they haven't really dedicated themselves to anything. That's why they just can spew certain scriptures and put FBA and KKK in the same conversation, which makes no sense. But this is the nature of these types. So, you know, going forward, just again, I've already forewarned y'all about some of the dilemmas that we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing a bunch of bootlicking shields coming out in the next few months. I'm going to be over here, you know, finding ways to say FBA is this, FBA is that. All the while never able to connect the dots. Just like the woman I played earlier, never able to connect the dots, but nonetheless still making accusations against Black folks, which in turn put targets on Black folks for whatever reason. And I think that a lot of these Pan-Africrats are upset because of the Trump administration focusing so much so on non-Americans. And so these people are really disappointed because Black Americans ain't getting our asses kicked. But somehow, this is supposed to be what we're supposed to be delineating. We're not supposed to delineate from. And they're upset. Well, you know, you guys hate Africans and you're attacking Africans. We're not attacking anyone. We're over here worried about our own Black business. And what we're finding out is that people had their hands in their pockets the entire time. That's not being xenophobic. That is securing your border. That is securing the safety of your community. And if they're not part of my community, then I owe them nothing. And to say that they're Black and they got Black skin, but they're coming over here to exploit my community. Where the hell is the unity? There is no unity in exploitation. I don't give a shit if they got Black skin. And last but not least, the way that those people, these Democrats, behaved last week over Jesse Jackson's funeral, with the family telling you, do not make it about yourself. Do not make it about your politics. They promptly went up there and did that. And that was really, really classless. But it shows the truth. We used to call Jesse Jackson a race hustler. You're a race hustler, a grifter. These people are worse than any of that could ever be. And this disrespectful madness, I'm glad that the Sun checked. This man's wife was over there. And even Al Sharpton, they all basically took the stance to say, F that man's wife, F that man's family's wishes. We gonna do what the hell we want to do, and to hell with y'all. What the hell is that at? Let's get this. Oh, hold on. All right.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people. And it speaks volumes about who the Reverend Jesse Jackson was. Our message has already been delivered today. I can see it all over my mother's face. Rise, Jesse, rise. Give Jonathan Jackson another great round of applause for delivering our family message to the world.
And one thing that stuck out about what he said is the fact that Jesse Jackson stood for the people. And in that conversation, the message is stand for Black people, not your party. And then you got non-Black Kamala Harris coming in there to do her thing. I thought, not to say it, but I told you so. Right? First thing we're going to do is send off Jesse Jackson. So the first thing I need to do is find some kind of way to make it about myself. Down to Maxine Waters. And then all of these people did, and then they still did the disrespectful thing. And then talking about ICE. When you could be talking about Black America. The civil rights, the strides and the accomplishments of Black America. But instead, you took the moment to grandstand on this man's body. Stand over his casket, ignore the wishes of the family, maintain a political slanted position, and proceeded to ignore what you were told. Bound to Al Sharpton, a man of the cloth himself, who he himself, I guess, would say, I gotta do this, and I wouldn't be right, and Jesse would have wanted me to do that. You were instructed by the family to keep your politics out. And that right there is unforgivable. That shows that the people of the Democrat Party have no respect for the community. They have no respect for the actual Black struggle in America. That's why they keep sending us tethers, because none of them could respect the reasoning why that moment did not need to be political. And that's what happens when you got a bunch of outsiders speaking for us, being in spaces representing us. They have no business ever speaking for us. We do not, if they do not bring us a person from our lineage, they need to be rejected. And I can speak for myself. I will reject all non-foundational Black American candidates from this moment forward. There is no mixed anything. If they are dual allegiance, forget about it. They married to something outside. They doing the Serena Williams thing. Forget about it. You bring us a black household family that's representing black community. Outside of that, you'll get nothing but a message from the black grassroots. And clearly, you guys must be getting it from the Most High. So let me do my part and inform you that Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Family, we are going to be dealing with a lot. And remember, I always tell y'all, down to the smallest one of y'all, don't see yourself as small because they see you as a giant. Always remember that they are taking names and collecting faces so they could say, these are all the people that we got to keep an eye on because they are a special, exceptional people. And we have to sit up here and they're coming into their own. So we have to keep tabs on them 24/7. Us coming together and waking up disturbs a lot. But that tells you what? That together we do possess quite a bit of power. That's why you got a lot of the tethers telling us, y'all don't have no power in America. Really? Right now, we're the voice of the largest voting bloc. And that's the voting bloc of the independent people who stayed home. And that crowd just keeps getting larger. It seems like leaderless movements do actually have some kind of benefit now, don't they? Oh, well, I just know that I've called my shot and I think I'm about a something billion-dollar man now. Because I know right out this microphone, we have told you we're going to make you spend a lot of money. You could just deal with it and break black folks off. But I ain't no better than that. But one thing I did have to let everybody know, and we always see it, Jason Black tells you this all the time. Either we can be comfortable, or we all can be uncomfortable, and we're used to. No skin off our back, Jack. And some of y'all might be like, man, that's crazy. Why would you want somebody else to go through what you went through? Because you think you better than us? And the truth of the matter that none of you are. Because to go through what we go through and to still be the culture of the planet, leading #1 culture of the planet, not America, planet. We all over the world of our influence. Generation on top of generation. And all they'll do is manufacture Little Nas X's, Cardi B's, and not Meg Thee Stallion, but the Cardi B's and the Sexy Reds, and they could come out for a hot little minute. Oh, like that garbage ass. What's the light-skinned chick? The light-skinned chick, like Puerto Rican or whatever, her whack ass, Ice Spice. When I first saw that, I was like, okay, this is industry plantage all day long. Yo todos, pero yo soy más. Yo todos, pero you ain't much. Niggas over here really telling yourself that, oh, this is hot. You don't feel you. Well, you don't know. What? Ice Spice. Well, I'll tell you, boy, no. Rap game garbage. That's one of the worst. Her album went triple wood. It's like, of course it did. Like, none of these people have went on tour because ain't nobody buying that BS. They thought they were going to ride a wave. And once again, never let Fat Joe, like, get off. Always remember, Fat Joe is tied in, plugged in with the Democrats. He's been that way before Diddy. In the late 80s, in the late 90s, rather, Fat Joe has always been down with the Democrats. Since the early 2000s, Fat Joe been down with the Democrats. So, you guys comb through people's history. See, some of us are old enough to know and old enough to remember. You know that. So, think of this whole, Busta Rhymes as well. What do they both have in common? Pushing a narrative that foundational Black Americans aren't the creators of hip hop. So, in light, what I'm telling you is the powers that be use Democrats to erase Black American contribution. If you are still supporting the Democrats and saying we are somehow xenophobic, we're somehow shitting on ancestors because they died for the right to vote. They did, and they fought for freedom, not for complacency, or sitting up under somebody else talking about, well, we need to vote for them. These people gonna do us because Trump gonna come get us. Ain't did nothing to nobody over here. So the way they're trying to sweeten up this argument is this. Well, Black birth rates in America are also tied to Black immigrants. Like, we need that. Now, what we need is having abortion stop being pushed on us. And, you can't talk to us about birth rates and numbers when you're upset. The 92% is upset that Kamala Harris didn't win. And you guys were having abortions at the damn Democratic convention. You can't tell us now that you're concerned with Black infant mortality or Black women's health. No, you're only concerned in killing Black children. Guess that was another miss while using a so-called Black woman to do it, which, again, let me reiterate for a fact, Kamala Harris is not Black, nor mother, nor father. Indian on both sides. Get your learn your thing here. And you said, Buster the angry Bate boy. Some people say that. Also, stop letting FBA women die giving birth and turning them away from hospitals. Facts. And none of them have taken that one up. Instead, what was Jasmine doing? See, people, Black women ain't supported. Black women weren't supported by Jasmine Crockett. There were issues that happened in the state of Texas she could have spoke on. She didn't. We've had a child out of this FBA family here in the state of Texas come to his demise by the hands of these people, these so-called medical professionals. None of these whack-ass politicians lifted a freaking finger to open their mouth about that. Now we got this youngster down here fighting for his freedom over some racist white boy that broke his own daddy's arm, and now they're trying to paint this Carmelo Anthony kid as some kind of hardened criminal. Miss me. No Black politicians stood up for that kid. Well, there's shit about no Democrats. They don't mean nothing to us, and we clearly don't mean enough to them for them to even do anything worthy of our support and worthy of our votes. And it is very foolish to keep talking to Black folks like we owe them people something. And this is where I have to absolutely say, if you do not understand the fact that we don't owe the Democratic Party nothing, when it was this people, it was Black Americans. We forced the issue. And this is what Jesse Jackson Jr. was telling you. The issues of Black America are not by way of a political party, but it is our issue going to Washington regardless of who is in office. I don't give a shit if it's Donald Trump. I don't give a shit about what Democrat you roll out and put in there. Black folks need something. Our community needs something. Damn what you talking about. Damn what it ain't popular. I don't care. And once y'all start getting to that point to where you care about your people enough to say, I don't give a shit about what this party's doing. And here's even more so, y'all sat up here and acted like Republicans got Jasmine Crockett a loss in Texas. No, that's all Democrats, and they ran what they wanted. We're going to have to come to the realization that the people that you're deeming, here's these Republicans, they're so anti-Black and racist. Well, then what's the difference in your party? No one wants to speak about that. And so to that regard, for all of you Black Democrats, know exactly why we'll never be able to trust you until you check that. And some of you might say, well, man, you know, that's just the way it is. And I mean, we ain't never going to have a pro-Black leader or nothing like that. So how we ever's going to get certain things done? And my response to that is, number one, stop being this.
Toby be good nigga for massa. Good nigga.
Because at the end of the day, that's all you must really see yourself as. And if you want to believe you are something different, so in the famous words of Tiffany Cross, but I'm going to do it a little different, get with the Black grassroots. Get with foundational Black Americans. Get with the B1. Get with the new Black media and get in line. If not, I don't know what's wrong with you, but clearly something is. And I think we're all clear here about what that problem is. So I speak for myself. beatzillapdx official, the independent Black voice. Those of you in the chat in the replay game, the Black grassroots. And of course, the voices of new Black media. Because I'm pretty safe to say I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can definitely do so by way of donation at CashApp. That's $beatzillapdx. And of course, we got PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And, appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get my number correct and right. We've had, and family, make sure you get them likes buttons because at about 1,000, we should have more likes. I'm just saying. I'm sure you guys don't see anything near what I'm seeing right now, but I do, YouTube. So let's get this right. Let's not, this thing better not end under 1K. Tell you, boy, they be doing your boy so wrong over here. But it's all right. It's all right. God sees you. Now, we are about to get out of here. And family, there is going to be so much coming at you. So just be prepared. I mean, I can't say it enough. Be prepared, because people want and desire your energy, your time, and most definitely your focus of energy. So as long as you're focusing your energy into this positive direction for Black empowerment, they are scared. And I say, good. And sometimes you got to remember that even kinfolk, just because they skinfolk, still really ain't kinfolk.
Good evening, Dr. Clark. I really would like you to tell me what's the best way to handle an African American that gets in the way of the liberation of African Americans. I believe in this unity, and I'd love to love all of them, embrace them. Please tell me how to do it strategically.
Put space between you. Don't try to reform him. Give him the information, hope that he will use it. If he don't use it, then don't waste time letting him obstruct the movement. People who don't believe in themselves can't believe in you and can't help you. It's heartbreaking to know that there are some of us we have to write off so the rest of us can survive.
Facts. Family, remember why they hate us.
It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the flow. You really about to do it? 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, for those who are new here, it's like, oh, we have these hashtag hands off movements. Sorry, Beatzill's creator again. Whoops. Same with foundational white Americans. That's me again. Darn. Hey, what can I say? Family, keep your 3 smooth stones at the ready and your slingshot nearby. You never know what's going on out here these days, so you might just stay on keep that head on the swivel. Well, you know what I'm talking about. So, also with that, of course, stay Black, stay vigilant, and stay alive. Black first, Black first, Black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed, wonderful evening, rest of the week. Well, I guess evening, rest of the weekend, and blessed week. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a blessed one. Appreciate the time that y'all took to hang out with little old me today. Peace.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir. You don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yes. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan Who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man. And you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.